Okay, y'all, football season is here. We know that's going to leave room for plenty of shenanigans for us to talk about. Before we get started with the shenanigans going into the football season, let's talk about the money. I'm repping my Clemson Tigers. I'm ready to go. Go Tigers. Let's beat LSU. So, Front Office Sports has reported that money made by college football players, Division I Power 4 only, is what these numbers are for, is projected to double this year with revenue sharing. So the estimated earnings this year are anticipated to be $1.9 billion with a B. B like boy, $1.9 billion is the estimated earnings for Power 4 football athletes. That number in 2024 was roughly $1 billion. Okay, so in 2024, 853 of that $1 billion came from collectives, and 150 million of that came from other commercial deals, so true NIL deals. In 2025, that rubric is completely out of the door. So how's that $1.9 billion estimate going to be split? So it is predicted that 290 million of those dollars will come from commercial deals, that 213 million will come from collectives. I know some of y'all thought collectives were going away. Nope. Collectives trying to spend over the cap dollars. Okay. Collectives are not going away. So 290 for commercial deals, 213 for collectives, and 1.4 billion from the institutions themselves. Now, I question whether that 1.4 billion is correct, because if you just do math across the 70 Power 4 institutions, including Notre Dame, it is $20 million per school. But understand that under the rev share, 20.5 is the total allocation across all sports. So whether 20 million of the 20.5 is going to football, I think that's probably not right. Okay. But for purposes of this, they had good sources. 1.4 billion is the estimated payments. So, okay, 1.4 billion of the 1.9 is coming from the institutions themselves. Now, the total earnings by Power 4 football players is roughly 13% of the revenue generated by the institution. Now, they reported it out as generated by school. I assume that means generated by the athletic department. So 13% of all the dollars generated by the athletic department will be spent on athletes, football players in particular. How is that split up? The estimates are that quarterbacks will receive 18% of those dollars, receivers 15, O-line 14, D-line 13, DBs 12, linebackers 11, and running backs pulling up the rear at 10% of the $1.9 billion. That's how it's going to be allocated. That's what the prediction is. But let's go back up to QBs, because going into this year, we already know, according to the reporting from on3.com, that some of these guys are making some real money. The top paid QBs, according to on3.com, at number 9, okay, and I think you'll be surprised with some of these, is Josh Hoover at TCU, $1.7 million. And number 8, Avery Johnson, is $2 million. Avery plays for K-State. K-State getting spicy, trying to get in the mix. Number 7, Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt is coming in at $2 million. He was a transfer from New Mexico State, but also remember that he started in JUCO, and he is the person that brought the lawsuit last year that allowed him to play this year as an extra year, arguing that his 2 years of JUCO should not count against his 4 years of NCAA eligibility. So he'll get $2 million. Hopefully Vanderbilt is good. Okay. Now, right above him is John Mateer out of Oklahoma. He's coming in at $2.5 million. Coach Venables, I'm hoping you have a good year, and I hope your $2.5 million man pays off for you. John Mateer was a transfer from Washington State. And right above him, coming in at 5, the 5th spot, Drew Aller out of Penn State. Drew's going to be making $3 million this year. At number 4, an interesting entrant, Dylan Raiola, is going to be making $3 million, and Dylan is the quarterback at Nebraska. I'm hoping for $3 million, y'all are going to make some noise, Nebraska. It's a lot to pay not to get any action. Let's go. Let's get it done. Okay. At number 3, I know y'all been waiting for me to say his name, Carson Beck, who is now with University of Miami over there in Shadytown. Carson's a transfer from UGA, and he will be making $3 million. Coming in at number 2, I was surprised that this guy was not number 1. Coming in at number 2 is Bryce Underwood out of Michigan, the true freshman who signed the deal that was estimated between $10 and $12 million. Okay, and if you recall, Michigan, Coach Moore sent Tom Brady and Oracle's former CEO, Larry Ellison, who is the husband of alum Joni Ellison, to go get Bryce Underwood. And when you are the number 2 richest man in the world and you Tom Brady, y'all put the two of them together, y'all can put together a package to get Bryce Underwood, and they did. And Bryce will be making, as a true freshman who has gotten the nod to start, $3 million. Okay? But there's somebody making more than Bryce Underwood. Who is it? I think, now who we not called off? Y'all not going to believe this. The number 1 highest paid quarterback in college football is Darian Mensah from Duke. He's a transfer from Tulane. Duke, y'all really getting spicy. Y'all not even going to win the ACC. I hope you get your $4 million worth. But let me not hate on Duke. Good job, Darian, for cashing in and getting your money. $4 million for him. So what are some of the takeaways from all this talk about money? First of all, I just need to say it again. This is only Power 4. It's only 70 schools that are Power 4 schools in the NCAA. Okay? Only Power 4. If you're a group of 5 or otherwise D1, tiny fraction is going to be available to the athletes who are group of 5 or other D1. Tiny fraction of those dollars. Okay. So even though there is a potential pot of 20.5 million available to group of 5 schools, they have no way to fund that out of operations or anything else. Okay. So if you Power 4, you golden. If you group of 5, not so much. Okay. Now that means that these 105 roster slots, okay, because under the House settlement, they are limited to 105 football slots. So even though teams used to have 80 some odd scholarships, they could field as many people as they wanted. And some would field 100, 120, 130, 140 football athletes as walk-ons. Okay, all that's gone. 105 slots available, all scholarship based. The only way you can be a non-scholarship athlete in football above the 105 is to be a designated student athlete. That's something that you got because you were a walk-on under the prior system, and that was part of the House settlement. So 105 slots, a lot of competition for those slots. So you got the guys coming from high school, okay, who have been getting squeezed out for a long time with all this transfer portal stuff. They're still in the mix. They still want to get paid. They're in the mix. You also have the existing team members who are already there and transfer any place. They're already there. They are competing for that 105 slots. Then you got these guys who are hitting the portal, who are trying to portal their way in. Okay. Either because they're doing a group of 5 move up. Okay. So they're trying to come up from group of 5 to Power 4. Okay. Or they're trying to do a JUCO come up. Okay. Diego Pavia style. You got all those guys now competing for those 105 slots. And then you have the hangers on, the people that just won't go away. Red shirt, medical waiver. Okay. Hardship waiver. Guys can figure out how to stay. That COVID waiver is about to wind its way up, but people can stay around 6 or 7 years. Okay. Using waivers. So you got a whole lot of people fighting for these 105 slots. So competition is fierce. Okay. Now, what we haven't talked about, but we gotta talk about, is the fact that the portal is still leaving folks on mama's couch. Guys are still stranded. So The end of the 2024 portal season is done now. The reporting is now done for what happened the last football season. And 39% of the athletes who entered the portal were stranded, stuck in the portal, sitting on mama's couch. And under this 105 roster slot rule, those guys are done. They can't walk on. They can't do anything. It's over. Okay, so we need to understand in this reality, if you're not part of the 105, you are out of luck. There's no walk-ons above the roster limit anymore. So portal transfers will become more attention will need to be paid to people entering the transfer portal and the success of them getting out. I've been going on for a while. I'm going to stop here. As always, let me know what you think. I'm excited for college football. There's a whole lot of shenanigans going to happen. We know it. As always, let me know what you think. Take care.